Hi. So some student of mine, Emily, and her friend um, came by to ask me a question. The limit as x approaches 0 of sine of pi over 6 plus x minus 1 half over x, and what does that equal? Well, before we do this, this problem is actually the definition of derivative of a sine at pi over 6, by the way. So that's the derivative. You can use the definition if you want, which we will be doing. We will have to be armed with like 3 information first. The limit as x approaches 0 of 1 minus cosine of x over x, that should approach 0. Make sure if you do this on your calculator that what is the word, mode is in radians. You cannot do it in degree mode, okay? Or the limit as x approaches 0. I factor out a negative from the numerator, negative of cosine of x minus 1 over x. That should approach 0 as well. Also, the other one is limit as x approaches 0 of sine of x over x should approach 1, okay? So first of all, we're going to use the expansion of sine, more namely the angle sum for the sine, correct? So sine of pi plus x, we're going to expand it out. The limit as x approaches 0 of sine, cosine, cosine sine, pi over 6, x, pi over 6, x, and we keep the sine. Sine of pi over 6 times the cosine of x, plus cosine of pi over 6 times the sine of x, minus 1 half, there it is right there, all over x. We know that that's equal to the limit as x approaches 0. Sine of pi over 6 on the unit circle is 1 half times the cosine of x plus cosine of pi over 6 is radical 3 over 2 times the sine of x minus 1 half over x. Okay, and that's what we're trying to find out. Well, there's a little trick to this. I solved this out like, I don't know, 3-4 years ago once. And let me see if I can recall it. So we got to regroup these. So it's 1 half here. So it's 1 half cosine of x minus 1 half plus root 3 over 2 sine of x. I'm going to put this over x over x. So that should be the same thing, correct? Because we went from a single fraction to its partial fractions. So you can go back from a partial fractions to a single fraction or back and forth. I'm also going to factor out 1 half here. Limit as x approaches 0. Factor out 1 half. Going to be cosine of x minus 1 over x plus root 3 over 2 sine of x all over x. Okay, that's what we have so far. I'm going to move down just a little bit here. And then I'm going to take the limit of this two terms and factor out 1 half. So you can always factor out the constant of cosine of x minus 1 over x plus root 3 over 2 times the limit as x approaches 0 of sine of x over x. You know that this limit is right over there. No matter if it's negative or positive, it doesn't matter, this approaches 0. Times 1 half plus sine of x over x as x approaches 0 is root 3 over 2 plus root 3 over 2. And so my answer should be root 3 over 2. This isn't an aside, but let's look at this one over here. Let's say the derivative. You'll learn about this next year. Sine of x at x equals pi over 6. That's actually the definition, which is located right over here. The derivative of sine is cosine of x, evaluated as equals pi over 6. So cosine of pi over 6 is equal to radical 3 over 2. Oh, look at that. Check. Check. So good luck on your homework, guys, and or test.